Well, that was a fast week, wasn't it? The Thanksgiving holiday tends to be that way. And here we are in December. We've passed the threshold, 500. This is episode 502, Fun Music, with our stalwart leadoff man, Fred Whitlock.
Well, a favorite artist of mine, Lisa Gerrard, has a compilation out, just came out this month. Uh, it's a remastered of 10 or 11 cuts of different cuts she picked. To her inspiration was the healing power of water. And of course, if you know her, she's from Dead Can Dance. And this is just an inspirational album. Her voice, as always, is impressionistic. It soars and chants and carries you to someplace you've never been. Her notes are compelling, colorful, intoxicating. It resonates with emotion. It's almost spiritual. It's very distinct and compelling. You can also find a collection that came out in 2007, the best of Lisa Gerrard. It has some cuts from Dead Can Dance, her solo work, and her film work. And the title of the new release is Come Tenderness. Now I discovered a Philadelphia group. I thought they were European when I first heard them, but they're from Philly, Spirit of the Beehive. This is their fifth album, and it just came out recently. And someone wrote, it approaches confusion and tension at the same time. It's a shape-shifting sounding album. It goes from heavy beats to stoner rock to prog to kind of pop and then into a krautrock groove. The songs are lyrical and there's some darkness in their lyrics. Gives you a little bit of discomfort, which I kind of is interesting. And it's about the failing of a relation. Most of the songs deal with the failing of a relationship or a friendship. And it's unpredictable in spots. All of a sudden, the song changes, or the next song is very different from the one you just heard. It shimmers in passages, and then it just goes into some loud sounds and heavy. Uh, the album opens up with a cut, the distortion, which has an aggressive chant to it in the beginning. And it really carries you through. You want to hear what they're going to do in the next number. Now after that, I discovered another group, Vox, Vox 11, Vox.11, and their album is called Under the Blue. And they have a couple of albums out, but I don't know much about them. I believe that they're on Bandcamp, and they do have some stuff on Apple Music. And From Here to Nowhere came out in 2020. That was one album they have out. And their music is dark and electric, prog, with touches of classical, and has a lot of different elements into it. Their new album, which came out in 2024, is called Lost in the Ocean. Uh, it's introspective, very poetic, and it's got some great guitar work, turns up in the middle of the tunes. In the previous album, there's a song called In My Dreams. They really stretch out, and the music It's hypnotic and floating. There's some great tunes on this, very atmospheric, as well as the new album, Lost in the Ocean. Again, it goes from synthesizers, electronic textures, keyboards, and it's impressionistic. It has a lot to, number of cuts have a lot to do with the ocean. Dying Whale has a mellow groove to it, and then it has whale-like sounds done electronically. It's really an enthralling album, highly imaginative, and not all the cuts have to do with the ocean. There's some great tunes like Love is Blind, uh, very great vocals, and I highly recommend anyone who's into prog to check them out. And then someone who was around in 79 and 80 with solo albums, Peter Barrett. He was in a punk group, I guess, for a while, and he hasn't recorded in quite a while. I guess he was tied up in addiction, from what I understand. And he's got a new album out called The Cleansing. And I guess he's not in great health at all. And a lot of these songs have a lot to do with just hanging in there or wanting to. There's one tune that he says, I want to jump in front of a train at Christmas time.
Whoa.
It's about facing the end of your life almost, but the album is not as grim as it sounds. Even though the songs lyrics are pretty grim, the rock music carries you around through it. It's almost like I would compare him to Parker. He's 72 years old. And he first recorded about 30 years ago, like I said. And he's this album is emotional and but it isn't a downer. It's dynamic, and the words come out and the music just rocks and punches away. So 20 tracks, and he plays with his two sons on it, and very, very moving. And if you like Ian Hunter or Graham Parker, I would say check this guy out, Pete Barrett.
Hey, more excellent finds.
You've recommended some pretty good ones here. Vox.11 is I saw it on Bandcamp and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
prog
that's
rock,
where I found.
yeah, prog rock and everything. That's up my alley lately. That's really been up my alley, thanks to you guys. So I'm gonna check them out, and then the rest too.
Likewise. Okay.